All right, y'all. We're about 10 days out from Chicago. I thought I'd do a little quick update of kind of where we're at and the utter chaos that's going to happen in the next probably about 7 days to get the mock ready to go to Chicago. So let's kind of look to see where things are, what I need to get done in the near future, and then kind of how I'm going to deal with getting this to Chicago. All right, so here's the rough layout. It's in a little bit various different stages of being put together because I needed to take it back apart to do a couple things. First off, I need to add all of the wiring underneath the fortress for the lights. Although most of the lights are put in, I just need to do the wiring. I need to do the wiring on both these ships, plus redo the wiring on the large clipper. I am going to add some lights into this area here. That's still off from getting it back from Knoxville. I still need to get the sails back on this. I need to get the sails back on the clipper because I starched them so that they would look as good and crispy as these do. And so I need to do a lot of wiring. And part of that, I also need to build my base for this to sit on at Chicago. The one thing I learned last year was that the tables at Chicago suck and that they dip and are not level. And this is going to be across, I think, 2 tables. I think they're only half of the display on each of the table. And so I need to build a base for this. And I want to go ahead, and I need to go ahead and drill holes in the base layer to get the wires down through for the speakers for the cannons, and some other just general wiring. And so I need to actually remove this whole thing, build the base for it, and then put it back on. But what I'm going to do is there's a lot of little fixing up things that I need to do along the way. And so sorry, as this leaves the room, it's going to make a quick little pit stop at my desk here to get whatever little touch-ups it needs. And then it's going to go out into the living room to sit in a pile until I get the base built. And then it'll get reassembled, hopefully, with all the fixes. And that will be its final kind of test put together before it goes to Chicago. So that's kind of where we're at right now. Let me show you a couple of little things, cool things that have come in over the last couple of days that are going to get worked into the wiring situation, and kind of how this is going to play out. So this is the board that I use for the cannons, and this is all from Brick Stuff, and I've been working on it for a while to get this. Why is it not focusing? Come on. I've been working with it a while to get this kind of fixed up for my specific needs. And so the 2 things I asked was for the cannons to all fire at once so that it could be like a broadside off of a ship. And then we talked about being able to output to a 3.5 so I could run it through some speakers. And so this whole thing, this is the amp board to get it out to the 3.5. This whole thing needs to get hidden somewhere inside each of the ships. And then I also need to get a wire out through. I will do a whole separate video about this whole situation at a different point. Not right now because I just need to get this stuff in. But that's one of the many things that I need to kind of work on redoing. One of the other kind of wiring updates that I'm going to make as I'm going through is I picked these up, again, also from Brick Stuff. These are like a quick disconnect. There's a 4-wire and a 2-wire version. And so I don't know if you remember, but if you recall from taking the mount apart, there's a bunch of kind of like individual lights and stuff that I had to kind of unplug and replug and do all those types of crazy things. Hopefully this will make that situation much easier to do. Rather than actually plugging into the boards and unplugging from the boards, I can just use these. I bought quite a few of these kind of throughout the layout in various different places to make that whole situation much easier to deal with, rather than actually plugging in and out of each of the boards. So I got a bunch of these. They were on sale, actually. And so hopefully that will make that life easier. But that's just another thing that's going to happen before it gets put back out on the table so they can get reset up. And last but certainly not least, I know this looks like a hot dumpster fire right now, but this is all the extra cannons that I needed to get firing cannons into all the ships and different places and stuff, and with their appropriate wiring and all the torches and all that. Plus, I also bought a whole bunch more of these. This is what I use to make all my lights flicker and stuff, because I needed those for the Fortress. These are the speakers I'm going to be using to stick underneath. So there's a lot of work to do to get this thing ready, but that's kind of the next steps, is to start to disassemble and fix. I don't want to say fix, but kind of fix and finish up as it goes out to get restaged. Build the base. I have an idea for the base, but that will be a separate video. So I'll make sure I do it right before I tell you how I did it. And then rebuild the whole thing. So that's where we are for today. I'm going to go ahead and start fixing this stuff. It'll take me a couple days to get through all of it. And then we'll be back with the base and then the reassembly process. And then the disassembly process to go to Chicago. So we're getting down to the wire. It's going to be kind of crazy couple days to get everything finished. Make sure you like, subscribe, and stay tuned for some more stuff, because there's a lot of things coming lately. Thanks, y'all.